Hi guys, this is Meg. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is my first video. I started the channel. I created it a while ago, but I hadn't uploaded really anything. But I keep getting messages from Spirit and, also friends and things, but that's sort of how Spirit works too. Spirit will send people into your life that will tell you things that, you know, you've already downloaded from Spirit. So, and they've been telling me that my message, somebody needs to hear, a lot of people need to hear, and it will help heal a lot of people. And so I fought it for a long time because I really didn't know where to start or what to say or what people needed to hear. But my life's been kind of a struggle, really, since I was a young child. I'll just say that I'm a Gen Xer, so you can sort of figure out the age range that I'm in. And I'm in a certain stage of my life, and I've always been an intuitive. I just, I can't really explain it. If you're intuitive, you know what I'm talking about. And I always intended on using these gifts because I do see them as gifts and talents. And then I'm also, very insightful. I have a lot of common sense. And like I said, I've been struggling since I was a child with, just a very, very, very rough road. And, I identify with a phoenix rising from the ashes. And, that is why I've stayed close to Spirit. I've always been close to Spirit. I can remember at a young age, just feeling connected. But that is what has, helped keep me connected, because as many of you, probably know that when you go through struggle, hopefully you know that when you do go through struggles in your life, that when you pray or meditate, that you do feel better and you come up with answers. Now, I don't know who you pray to, but the important thing is that you do pray. And there are many religious figures and many theories, even with New Age theories and everything. But the common ground is really that, we all believe in a greater force. Some don't, of course, but if you're here and you've lasted this long, then you do. So anyway, I had a couple of messages today. And this is why I decided today. I'm actually getting a reading from another reader tomorrow. And they kind of posted something like, "You're wasting your skills and talents. What are you waiting for?" And I said, "Oh boy, now I know what this reading is going to be." I've waited a long time to do a reading because they're, it's investment, and I wasn't able to, but they had a special going, and so I'm going to get my reading tomorrow night. But the downloads that I got today, they were coming through really strong, was the color pink, cherry blossoms, or possibly some people say they're crab apple blossoms, but I have this tree outside my window, and where I live in the northeastern part of the United States of America, And where I live, these flowering trees are really blossoming. So I always thought they were cherry blossoms because we had one on our front lawn and it looks just like it, but somebody else said that they were crabapple blossoms. And they are pink, and when they come in my window, they create this pinkish hue um, in my home, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's what I see when I get up in the morning and I walk down my hall out of my room and I walk down into my living space. And the first thing I see is this one little window that kind of tells me what the weather's like. If I haven't opened any blinds in my room, I don't have windows in my bathroom because I'm in a condominium. So, sometimes I don't really, don't necessarily know what it's like out. So like when it snows or spring, this tree blooms, or even after winter's over and spring is coming and the green leaves, I can see it through this little window. So anyway, when the cherry blossoms or crabapple blossoms, whatever you want to call them, bloom, they cast this pinkish hue on my walls and the space, and it's just really beautiful. And I had posted the picture somewhere that I took after I saw it this morning, and I mean, I got like 1,600 views. I'll post it here. I posted it on Facebook. I got like 1,600 views in a couple of hours. And it was just a picture of a window with these pink flowers peeking through. So it's one of the things that inspired me to make this video today. Plus, because I have that reading tomorrow and I want to be able to tell them that I did my first reading, because I've really been trying. I always planned on writing a book, and it's just such a challenge. And now in this day and age, that's how long I've been planning it, to tell you all my story. But I had like writer's block. So yeah, with the current way that we live, and these mediums that we have, I should have done this a really long time ago. I had planned on it, but I just didn't know what to say. Anyway, the next thing I channeled was of course roses. So roses, that's actually my birth flower, because I was born in the month of June. And so I really love roses, and this is from a bouquet that I got for Valentine's Day for my son. And anyway, it kind of fell off, and I have to add it actually to another lady that I have. I always called her an angel, this other lady I have. And she has a little basket with flowers in it, so I'm going to add that to it. But before I did this, I wanted to put it here at our, Blessed Mother, because at her feet, because, she deserves flowers. She's quite beautiful, and she's quite beautiful, and she's looking over us. This is from my childhood home growing up. When I cleaned out my parents' house after they had both passed on, this was something that I chose because I remembered this. I just remember this from when I was young. My dad passed away when I was 11, so, and then my mom passed away only a few years ago, so. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I think she's so beautiful. I do have to clean her, but I don't want to ruin her, so I'm not really sure how to clean her. And I thought I'd share her with you. So I placed the flowers at her feet. These fell from the tree. Right before I started the video, I was like, oh, she needs more flowers. And so I quickly ran outside because the tree had provided these for me today. That's one thing about the tree. It's really very lovely, but then it does drop all the flowers in front of my door. It can create quite a mess. So like anything else, like anything else, it's beautiful. It's a living, breathing thing, and then it has its time, and it falls off the tree, and it perishes. And sometimes things create a mess in life. Um, and so that is another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, because when I had posted the picture that I took out of the little window that I spoke about, I wrote something like, your life colors are beautiful. The colors of your life are beautiful. And of course, that brought to mind, and I was singing in my head all day, Cyndi Lauper's song, True Colors. I'll sing a little for you. I am a singer. I didn't really prepare to sing this, but I will sing it. I won't be embarrassed because it's a gift from God. I see your true colors shining. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. That's the lyric. I know I went out of tune and I started singing in a totally different key, I think. But I wanted to share the lyrics with you, and I did my best. I wasn't prepared. I hadn't heard that song in a while. It's interesting because I took voice lessons when I was about 19. I used to travel into New York City. New York City, look at it today. And I would travel in, and I'd take the train, and I'd get off the train, and I would walk to 50, what was it? It was above Carnegie Hall, his studio. His name was Mike Mitchell, and he was a voice teacher. And I would walk from the train to Mike Mitchell's studio above Carnegie Hall. And it was across the street from Carnegie Deli. And a friend of mine who was a few years older than me, and he was, a guy, he was in law school at the time, he agreed to take me on a trial run so I knew how to walk, and I could just walk that way to get to his place. My boyfriend decided if I was going to be this actress, because I wanted to be like a Broadway star, that was my plan. That was what I wanted. That was what I thought my calling was. Talk about Clara Bow. Taylor Swift just released a song, Clara Bow. I haven't listened to it yet, but Clara Bow was like one of the first like silent movie actresses, I believe. And so anyway, I thought I would be a Broadway star. So I was majoring in theater, and I was going to accounting college, but county colleges, people are so poo-poo county college, but you know what? Never be ashamed of where you went to school. Okay? You put your all into it. I never be ashamed. I don't want to get sidetracked. So I used to take the train and walk into and walk to Mike Mitchell's and take a voice lesson. And, he told me I wasn't any great, I wasn't going to be an opera singer or anything like that, Broadway. Yeah, I guess he said I wasn't going to be a Broadway singer. He equated me maybe to a Madonna, because Madonna was big then. This is the 80s, all right, mid-80s. So Madonna was big. And so, anyway, so one of the songs that he had me sing, he played, he taught me some vocal warm ups. And then he said, "Oh, Cyndi Lauper, she's so talented," and everything. So he had me sing Cyndi Lauper. It wasn't True Colors, it was Time After Time. And I had it on a cassette. Somewhere along the line, I lost that cassette. I really wanted to keep that. I don't know what happened to that cassette, but I lost that cassette, but that was what I had because we had cassette players. Yes, I had a cassette player. That's how we recorded things then. It was a lot harder. It was a lot harder. Now they say, oh, these kids today, they have a great voice. And they do. They have a lot of great stuff, but they have so many more tools and everything. And their parents put so much more time in them. I had to take a train. I cut out of school, walked down to the train station. It was a few miles, hopped on the train, took it into the city. It was probably about I don't know, half hour, 40-minute train ride into the city. And then the walk, and then, an hour lesson, and then walk back and go home. And then what eventually happened was I was missing my classes. I was missing the theater. I was, doing drama and theater and stuff. I was missing out on that because I wanted to sing. I was such a confused young lady. So much happened before that too, which, sometime I'll tell you if you come back. Anyway, one of my best friends died in a car accident. I would say he was probably the best friend I ever had. That I think he was the best friend I've ever had. Maybe not. There's one woman I'm friends with now who's a lot older than me. She's old enough to be my mother. She's been a really good friend to me too. But he was one of the best. And he died when I was 19. And, we didn't get counseling when our friends died. And we were in school. And, I had lost my dad when I was 11. And I lost my grandmother the day after, or 2 days after, the day after, I guess, my dad. Because my uncle went to tell her that my dad had died. And she went to sleep. She said, "I'm tired, I'm going to go to sleep." And she went to bed. And she died in her sleep, they said. Of a broken heart, they said. So anyway, I've experienced a lot of death. And now at the age of 19, my best friend died in a car accident. And it was really, really sad. And he was so beloved. My dad had a lot of cars in his funeral procession. I don't know if you as the listener have had someone close to you die. I'm sure some of you had, if you've made it this long. But, generally when you're going to be buried at a cemetery, there is a funeral procession. So you leave, the funeral home or the church or, wherever it is you start out. And then all the cars follow the hearse. I'm sure you've seen funerals and you see all the cars going and everything. And then you follow them and everything. And, my dad had so many because he did a lot of stuff. He was extremely active and he knew a lot of people and he was beloved and beloved. And so a lot of people came there. And so my best friend, Damien, he was the same way. Everybody really liked him and he was really a stand-up guy. And so he had a lot. And it's tragic when young people die. It's very tragic. He was 21. So I would have been 20 that year. He died Mother's Day weekend, of all things. I could see his house from like my home, from my windows in my home. And he lived a block away. but he was, up on a hill kind of, so I could see his house. And I met him when I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. And I used to play with him and the boy next door, who coincidentally has also passed away only a few years ago, but still. Anyway, Damien, he passed away on Mother's Day weekend, and he had a large funeral procession. So I didn't continue the voice lessons. And I remember Mike Mitchell called the house because I used to pay him by like a check or something. And, you didn't want to go to New York with, cash in your pocket, I guess. I don't know. And I had a checking account because that's what we had. When you were a responsible young adult, I mean, that's what you had. I did have a credit card too, but he didn't take credit cards. People didn't take credit cards like that then. Not at that type of a business. So anyway, I think I had a check bounce because I was struggling, man. I was the youngest of 9 kids. My dad died when I was 11. And my mom had 8 children living under her roof. And one was married. He got married when I was 5. And he was only 30 when my dad died. So look at the age difference. I was 11 and my oldest brother was 30. And then there were all those kids in between us. So being the youngest of that many kids and having your father die, the kids have to step up. I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but, oftentimes the kids have to, stick together and they go in survival mode. And, hopefully, that's what happens. Some people like to equate it to like a pack. How certain animals are in a pack, like dogs and wolves and things like that. Pack animals. And so they stick together. And that's what we did. And we gathered around my mother. My mother was very, very, very attached to the Blessed Mother. So that's another reason why I am so attached to her as well. My mother's name was Elizabeth, and she would have this whole story because Mary's, I don't know what you know about the Blessed Mother, but Mary's mother was Elizabeth. So anyway, the reason I'm talking about Damien, because one of the other things that came in up today, I'll show you, because these were the channel messages that I gathered while I was preparing and meditating and thinking about the day and what brought me to record this. So, True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. Rainbows, because the line where she says, your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. And so I want to remind you to be your authentic self. And I'm not talking about, some of the social issues that, are presented today. I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm talking about your authentic self, in that your spirit, not your physical body, okay? Your spirit. I saw this mother with her little boy on a clip, and he was brilliant. He was like 4. And he was absolutely connected to spirit. And she said, what is a soul? And he said, a soul is energy. It's a direct force and energy. And he talked about it being energy. And he's absolutely right. It's an energy source, right? We know that. We know we're made up of energy. We know our chakras. It's all about the energy. Your energy's blocked. Um, you pick up on energy when you walk into a room. You can read the energy. Um, you can feel the energy. I mean, you can feel the energy. I can, and maybe you can too. Feel the energy when a storm is coming. So it is all about the energy. And so I want to remind you that your soul and your energy, it's authentic. It's yours. Okay? Because within that energy is life experience, right? And there are also a lot of theories from the Jungian school of thought, where your ancestors have passed life experiences down to you through the cells in your body and your bloodline. These are the cells of your body. But now, we hear, with other readers and things like that, talking about bloodlines and your bloodline and all that. But yes, if you're interested in that, we can talk about that in another session. But yes, he did, and he documented it and gathered empirical data to support his theory. It was very radical at the time, and it was one of the reasons why Freud and he separated. But we can delve more into that at another time. I want to concentrate though on your authentic self. So in addition to that energy, which is yours, that soul energy coming from source, what we talked about being your God, your source, your energy. So your soul comes from God, and then we're human. We're here on earth experiencing things. So I remember the saying, I'm just a spirit or a soul down here trying to have a human experience. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't know about you, but some days I'm like, beam me up, Scotty. I do not feel like I belong here. Sometimes I just don't. When I see things on TV or I listen to people talk or I go somewhere, sometimes I do. I really do. But it's just that I have a mission here. I mean, I have a mission here and I'm here and I have to stick it out. And so that's why I'm a phoenix. And I've been knocked down a lot. You know that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked up, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. Well, I know that song was written, from what I've read, it was written, it's about, someone who got beat, child abuse. I mean, that's how I understand it to be. And that's terrible. And if that's your situation, I am so sorry. And I will pray for you, and we'll pray for you here. And I ask the viewers to pray for you if that's your situation. And I hope that you have a change and you have the courage to seek change or seek a way of reporting it if that's what's going on with you. But if it's more metaphorical, like it is for me, I have gotten knocked down a lot by people. I mean, when you have a lot of skills and talents and gifts from God, sadly, people wind up hating you. I know that sounds really harsh. And even if it's not real hatred, some people really do, though. Some people really do. But even if it's not real hatred and it's jealousy, um, and they just hurt you, or they just dislike you. Not everyone, right? But there are people who do, and I don't really understand that. I mean, I do have moments of jealousy, but I mean, sometimes it comes from what I would call frenemies. Um, I don't know. Frenemies, maybe people in the workplace. They're afraid you're going to get ahead of them. It could be someone, you're competing with in a sport or in a hobby, and you're better than them. Not better, but you're performing better than them. And they get angry or jealous instead of, doing what it takes for them to be the very best, right? Anyway, jealousy can be so destructive, and I mean, and that's actually envy, okay? So that's actually envy, which is very destructive, and you know, um, it's not good. It is not good at all. So death is also, I have death written on here, and that's just because of the things we talked about, and I've actually had to go to quite a few funerals since I've had this new job since August the 28th. And since I've had that job, I have gone to 6 different wakes and or funerals. 6 different people have passed away that I felt that I wanted to and needed to, and they deserved me to pay respect to them, either them or someone close to them. So I went to either a wake, a funeral, or both. And 2 were young people, which is very sad. And one was my uncle, and he was 100 years old. And he was a beautiful, 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 beautiful soul. And he had a beautiful, beautiful voice. And then some other friends. And I like to, not that I like to go, but it's really important that we are there for people. When someone loses someone, it's so important. I can't even tell you. I just remember all the people that came. I've actually lost 2 brothers as well. I didn't want to tell you all this the first day, but it's really, really sad. And people want to come, and they want to pay their respects. And you have to sit through it, and you forget, it's not all crying. I mean, I'm Irish, so it's not all crying because, they bring beautiful stories, and they talk about what they loved about the person, and they share memories. And so there's actually some laughter, and then all the people that you love are there usually, and, hopefully, I mean, I don't know what your story is, but hopefully that's your story. So I'm getting a message at low battery. I'm sorry if that appeared for you. Another thing is your shadow. So when we talked about your authentic self and your true colors, don't be afraid to show your shadow, okay? It's a full moon tonight. It's a pink full moon, okay? And The pink full moon talks about, embracing yourself and, even your shadow side. Okay? And you should do that. Look at your shadow. I mean, we all have a shadow side. We can't keep up. We can't keep up the pretend that we don't. I mean, people get confused. They want to be a good person. And of course you want to be a good person. But we all have a shadow sign. And then that's when we have to take time out and we have to say, okay, why is my shadow side appearing? So we either need to put up some boundaries. Maybe we need to meditate. Maybe we need to listen to music. Maybe we need to look at photographs. Maybe we need to cry. I feel better when I cry. I don't know about you, and I know with men it's different. So maybe you can sing. You could work out. That helps a lot. Yoga helps. Gardening, grounding. Embrace your shadow side. Embrace your authentic side. Stand up for what is right. Be a lifeline for someone else. Reach out to somebody else if you need a lifeline. Tomorrow is always another day. That's another song. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. So much could change. A good night's sleep can change. A lot of things can change overnight. Say your prayers before bedtime. Stay prayed up. I don't know who you pray to, but pray up. Meditate. Pray up. Stay prayed up. Have faith. I'm here. And I don't know what message is going to come through tomorrow, but I love you all. I do. I really do. I have a big heart, and it's just going to keep growing with all of you. And I hope you come back, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And pardon my singing. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And have a really blessed night. And enjoy that full moon. Okay? Bye. Love you.